And welcome to the Mental Health Hour. How are
Hi.
you? I am Derek, host of Suck It Podcast, and my guest host today, my co-host today, is my former co-host of Suck It Podcast, and the host of the Teachable Soul Podcast.
Right.
How you doing, Kat?
I'm good. How are you today?
Things have been actually pretty damn good.
Yay! That makes me happy.
Yes. I'm very, I'm a lot better than I have been, put it that way.
That's amazing. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
So, full disclosure, first of all, if you hear background noise on my end, I have no control over it anymore because my husband was supposed to be here for this. And then he got called into work, and so now he's not. And so now I have 2 children. Actually, I have 4 children here, 2 of which are not mine. And so that's fun.
Who are the other 2?
Each of my children has a friend over right now. My original plan was for my husband to be here and for my daughter to have a friend over that would distract her so that she would not want or care that I'm working. So far, that whole plan has gone to complete shit. So
isn't that how it normally goes?
I plan and the universe laughs. That's one of my favorite quotes. Yep. I mean, it says God laughs, but I don't do that whole thing. So,
Yeah, I hear
you.
So other than that, how's your week been? How's things going?
They're going, I guess. I mean, I've had a couple days where I don't feel like doing anything outside of family stuff for some reason. I don't know if quarantine is getting to me or what, but
I gotcha.
Today is not that day. Today I'm fired up to do all the things regardless. So
yeah, that's good. When's your next episode of Teachable Soul coming out?
There's one that was just released today, which I'm super excited for because she is a dating coach and she talks about self-love and how to love yourself in order to love other people and allow other people to love themselves as well. Okay. She's freaking amazing. I love her. That one is Dina. I think it's Brenchy is coming out today. And then I have another one coming out on Thursday.
Nice.
It's going to be I forget, but that one, yeah, there's another one coming out on Thursday.
So you're actually putting out 2 this week?
Yeah, I've actually been putting out 2 a week now because I amassed way too many interviews and a lot of the content and things that we were talking about were becoming almost irrelevant. And so I have decided I'm never again going to do that.
How's it going to be irrelevant?
Well, so there were a couple of for instance, this episode, I recorded it in March, before the quarantine started. And so she's a dating coach. You know what would have been really great to talk to her about during that time? Online dating.
Oh, and you didn't talk to her about it?
Nope. Because quarantine hadn't happened yet. So mad. I mean, it probably happened. We didn't think it was going to go on this freaking long. So I didn't think it was going to go on this long, at least. So I did not take advantage. Anyways, I should have. And now I'm mad that I didn't.
It happens. I mean, What are you going to do, right?
Do. So I've learned that lesson. And from now on, I'm actually considering keeping 2 a week, though, because I like it, number one. And number 2, I think my listeners might like it because somehow I'm getting way more listens than I used to.
Well, that's positive.
Right? For the past 2 weeks, it's been a straighter line than it normally has been.
I feel you on that because on my end.
Yeah, I saw your numbers.
Oh my God. What is going on?
I know. I was literally talking to one of my friends about that today, and she was like, well, what is he doing? And I'm like, I don't think he knows.
I don't know.
Yeah, right?
I really
Isn't it
don't.
cool, though? It's cool. Yeah. I'm so excited for you.
I'm approaching 100,000 a week.
Mm-hmm.
What?
So
I'm sorry. Can What?
What?
I don't even know how to respond to that.
Right?
It's
fucking amazing.
I'm in awe.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those of you that are listening or watching right now that have never seen Suck It Podcast or The Teachable Soul, my show and her show are completely polar opposites. Suck It Podcast is...
Oh, I like your nail polish.
Thank you.
Are they black?
It is.
Mine is chipping a little bit because it's a couple days old now, but like I love this blood red color.
Oh yeah.
Can I just say? Yeah, sorry.
I just did it yesterday. But anyway, so Suck It Podcast is a celebrity interview show that also has a mental health focus. However, I don't talk about it all the time, and I talk a lot about comedy and world events, and it's just an overall talk show. I mean, there's but with a lot of mental health sprinkled in every once in a while. Mm-hmm. Kat's show is a mental health is mental health focused on the fact of, hey, these people have fucked up in their lives. Let's learn from their mistakes type podcast.
Well, not necessarily fucked up. They just we all make mistakes.
Makes mistakes.
We all have teachable moments. That's what I say.
That's exactly right. So, however, one of the original things that I started the show about back in February, March was to talk about mental health all the time and kind of help people in their daily struggles and help them realize that they're not alone by, having them listen to the struggles that I go through on a daily basis. And it's kind of gotten away from that, which is fine because, things evolve. However, now that I'm doing this full time and this is my full-time job, I've decided, well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and add a second show. And Kat's been so graciously willing to come on every Monday at noon, and we're just going to talk about it. So the whole idea behind this came on last Wednesday's episode. So
let's talk about it.
I was talking to a gentleman by the name of Scott Page. He was a former member of Pink Floyd, a former member of Toto, and a lot of different things. And I was in a really bad place, but him and I had a really great conversation. As soon as I hung up the phone with him, or not the phone, but as soon as I got off the episode with him, I literally had a major manic episode. So I'm bipolar. I'm with severe depression and anxiety, and I had a manic episode immediately following this
interview.
Thank you. And it's live right here on YouTube. You can just find it below. I even cut that piece out and put it on YouTube just for people to see. And the reason why I did that wasn't for extra views. It wasn't to go viral. It wasn't for any type of self-publicity. What it was a showing that somebody that comes on the air every day and has issues with their own mental health is able to function and do things. And I wanted you to see the other side of things. And that was why I posted it like that and didn't edit it out or anything else like that. It's up there for the world to see, for that main reason. I don't want anything extra out of it. I don't want any guilt trips. I don't want people calling me saying, hey, we want to do an interview about you. That's not what it was. It was strictly about me just.
But I mean,
if it happens, it happens. But that's not the point.
Right.
The point was for me to show the world what the other side of mental health looks like, especially somebody from a entertainer's standpoint.
Right.
So after that episode aired, I talked to Kat either Thursday or Friday, and I said, hey, I have this idea. Do you want to go ahead and do it? And she's like, hell yeah. So we came up with the mental health hour. And basically all we're going to do is talk about, self-care, self-love, stuff that we can do on a daily basis to kind of get through the day smiling, and not have to worry about taking the blade and just, or, that's the extreme side of things, but you know what I'm saying? Or just crawling up into your bed and just crying all day and, escaping the world because you don't want to be a part of it. Which is what I do. I just lay in bed and veg out. And
thoughts on that.
Yeah. Well, what I do when I do that is I turn on a funny TV show.
Right.
And I try to get myself to laugh.
Right. I have thoughts on that.
Well, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, okay, so first I want to get this started because here's the deal. I can't decide between these three. So I wanted to do face mask today while we talk about this, okay? So I'm going to put this on my face and look completely ridiculous. And you are too. Where's your face mask?
I lost them, all of them, all 50 of them that you mailed me.
You better go get one, sir, because we about to dig in. Thank you.
Here.
All right, but I wanted people to pick my face mask. I'm going to let everybody pick it. Do we have viewers? How many do we have? Where are they at? I need somebody to comment and tell me which one you want me to wear. So I have gold, okay? Or I have vegetable placenta. Or I have a snail collagen mask. And I would really love it if I could read the ingredients of the snail collagen mask to you guys.
I'm gonna actually put the link in the comments for these masks.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah.
Look at you. They are not a sponsor, but if they wanted to be, I would let them. Because this is hilarious, guys. Legit hilarious. So the snail collagen mask legitimately has, wait, where are the ingredients? Water, glycerin, butylene, glycol, snail secretion filtrate. So I would be putting snail secretion on my face, okay? The other one, whatever vegetable placenta is, I don't know what a placenta of a vegetable is, but I feel like it is not going to smell good.
Okay.
So hydrogelized collagen, what is this? Oh, leaf extract, leaf juice, leaf extract. Yeah, that's not that bad.
All right, so the link I just posted in the description is an Amazon affiliate link. If you wish to purchase them, we do get a small kickback. So also, before we go any further, note that her and I are not medical professionals. We're not giving you any medical advice.
No.
This is just personal preference and personal experience. Just again, going back to the original idea from back in the day when Suck It Podcast first started. I have a rose collagen essence mask.
Oh, really? Have you smelt rose colored or rose things before?
Yes.
Okay.
You're Why?
Gonna smell like a beautiful flower.
I'm gonna. You know what?
Your wife is gonna come home or like later talk to you and be like,
well, let's go ahead and let's dive into that. Hold on. Let's dive into that. Yeah. So one of the things about self-care and self-help is pushing yourself beyond your normal boundaries and normal limits. That's something that might help you in the long run.
Right.
Something that may or may not give you satisfaction. That you just need to try. If you're continually doing the exact same thing over and over and over again and getting no different results, we all know that's the definition of insanity. But if you are a guy and don't normally take bubble baths and you see your wife constantly getting out of the bubble bath oh, that was really relaxing. Say, I'm a dude, so I'm gonna go get a fucking, a boat. I'm gonna take my boat in there with me on my bubble bath. Do that, whatever makes you feel comfortable. But definitely, taking a bubble bath, using collagen masks, just laying down and putting cucumbers on your eyes, stuff like that can have a calming effect that you won't even believe. It's just something that you need to do, and it could be something as easily as just listening to type of music that you don't normally listen to. The theme song at the beginning of this episode is a very chill, funky, melodic, calm rock song that fits the episode. And I'm not going to normally listen to that, but for this case of this episode, and for the case of every episode going forward on Mondays at noon, I'm going to listen to it. So sometimes we got to do things we don't want to do in order to try to better help ourselves. So that's what we're going to do today. And me being a 250-pound ex-pro wrestler, ex-MMA fighter, with smoking ass guns over here, is going to put on a face mask for the world to see
Yep.
Because you know what? My mental health matters, and that's what matters.
That's right.
So, yeah.
So I want to also preface this by like saying that like self-care does not always mean a face mask.
No.
That's actually why I picked it, because I'm also a little bit making fun of the concept that self-care is like a face mask. You can just put on a face mask and all of your troubles will go away. That's not how that works. So, which leads me to one of my points about you laying in bed all day, right?
Okay.
So I follow a lady.
By the way, hold on real quick.
Yeah.
My best friend just sent me a picture of her doing her face mask.
Aww, yay! She's doing it at the same time.
And she's watching. I don't know if this was an old picture or a current picture, but either way,
yeah.
If I'm gonna be do this on the air, I figured I'd show her doing hers on the air.
Yeah. tell her to get on there and at least comment and say like which mask she wants me to put on my face.
She said vegetable placenta.
Vegetable placenta? Okay. Well, there's one vote for vegetable placenta. I hope we get more. Anyway, so
go back to your point. As far as
my point is, so I follow this lady on Facebook, and she has a group, and she has like a podcast, and I love her, and I love her stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug her, and it's Sciency Spiritualists, which is a hard word to spell because it's not an actual word, but it's a fun word, which makes it funner. See what I did there? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, shut up. So, point is, her name is Billy also. And she introduced me to like sitting in your negative feelings, if that makes sense. Okay. And I say that she introduced me because I grew up in a family where I grew up in two different families because my parents were divorced. And so, I mean, we all have two different families, two different sides of families that are completely different from one another more often than not, I think. And so my mother's side of the family will shut everything off and shut the person down, basically. Like if you get into a fight with a person, you don't ever even tell the person that you hate them. You just stop talking to them and never talk to them again, ever. No exaggeration. And my dad's side of the family was at one point in time, like they were wealthy and it like they had a generational wealth at some point, not when I was born, by the way, but at some point they had a generational wealth. So they still were brought up as if they were affluent. And so like for instance, my dad's parents took my mother to dinner to judge her on whether or not she knew which fork to use for salad. Legitimately, that's a real thing that happened. They did that more than once because he married 4 times.
Yeah, you told me the story, yeah.
Yeah. So they were those kind of people. And with them, it was you can hate somebody, but you better smile to their face and you don't ever tell them that you hate them or say anything bad about them to their face. Like you can talk about them behind their back all you want, but like everything else is swept under the rug. If you have a problem with your mother, you just ignore it, basically, right? So I grew up in those terms, basically, and I didn't want to deal with my negative feelings. When I was like 13, I stopped crying, kind of. Like I was crying every night before I went to bed is what happened. And I got tired of it. What are you looking at?
I'm reading comments.
Oh, okay. Sorry. And I was crying every night and I was tired of it because I was like, it makes my head hurt when I wake up the next morning. It doesn't make me feel any better and it doesn't fix anything. And so I'm done with crying. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm just done with it. I'm just not going to do it anymore because it's not doing anything good for me, period.
Yeah.
So I did a thing, which I didn't know you could do, where basically now it's extremely hard for me to cry. Even if I feel like I want to cry, like the tingles in the back of your eyes, that you feel sometimes, I cannot. There are times, like if I'm in public, especially, I physically cannot make myself cry. I want to cry, but I can't. And so Billy introduced me to sitting in my negative feelings and just fucking feeling it out, basically. Do whatever you got to do. Hate the world. That's fine for that day. If that's how you feel, just feel it so that you can kind of work through it type thing. Don't ignore it. Don't act like it doesn't matter, because it fucking does. Your feelings matter, whether they're negative or positive.
Exactly.
So if you feel like just laying in bed all day and watching TV, do it. If it helps you, then do it. And I also saw a TikTok that said that this lady's therapist told her to do like a 5-minute trick, where if you don't feel like doing anything, then you just do something for 5 minutes. And if you still don't feel like doing it, then you can go back to bed or whatever you were doing before. But usually if you get through those 5 minutes, you know.
Yeah, I saw that one too, and the lady that was taking that advice was going for a walk, and then she decided to walk 5 more minutes, and she ended up walking for like a half an hour, and she felt better at the end of it. Exactly. One of the other things that I do, and I don't know if this is the most healthy, but this is definitely something that I do frequently when I have these, manic episodes. Like I won't be able to cry just for the sake of crying.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I just need to have one of those good old fashioned, let it out, snot running down the nose, just
ugly
cries. I know I need to have one of those every once in a while.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll turn on one of my favorite TV shows, and I'll watch episodes of that TV show that I know will bring me to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I cry it out, I feel better.
I've totally done that. Yeah. Like I will cry at the drop of a hat at those military guys coming home and greeting their families and their dogs and stuff. Man, those get me in like 2 seconds.
No, see, for me it's Scrubs. I mean, every time there's like 5 or 6 episodes that get me to cry every time. The musical, the series finale, the episode where they go to the Bahamas, the episode where the guy dies of cancer from lung cancer, while Sesame Street characters are all around. I mean, there's like, I can count them off and tell you. Yeah. And that's one of the ones that really gets me, is that one. Is the one with the Sesame Street characters, because you don't expect what ends up happening. You don't expect the ending. And then when it hits hard.
Yeah.
And the whole idea behind the Sesame Street characters is they want you to feel lighthearted the entire episode. And at the end, they just punch you right in the face as hard as they can on purpose. And it's just the way it's done is just amazing. And it works for me every time. So is that the vegetable placenta?
Yeah. It's got like a little bit of an alcohol-y smell to it. And
okay. So are we doing this now, or?
Oh yeah, I was going to do it while you talk.
Oh great, I'm going to do mine too, I guess. But no, I mean that's one of the things that I do is, ooh, it smells like
roses.
No, it smells like Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina.
How would you know what Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina smells like, bro?
I smelled the candle.
The candle. There's a
oh my God, you don't know about this?
No, what the hell are you talking about?
There's a candle.
Transformer up in here.
There is a candle made by Gwyneth Paltrow, and on it says, "This candle smells like my vagina."
Oh, that's amazing. I love Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yes, so if you haven't smelt or seen that before, Kat, you need to go check that out, because it's pretty fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
So how long do we have to
still have it?
No, I smelt it at a store.
Where's the store?
I don't remember.
You suck.
So how long do you keep these damn bad things on for?
No idea.
I didn't read the instructions.
Yeah, me neither. I'm gonna read them after I put it on.
It doesn't stick to my beard. However, it does feel nice.
Yeah, right?
It's very relaxing.
It is. It's like cool. Okay, the camera is making everything backwards, and so now I'm super confused as to what's going on in my face. That's what she said.
That's what she said. Can you see the comments?
Nope.
All right. Yes. Oh no, I'm just turning it on. All right, now you should be able to see comments. So there's the link to that.
Oh, this is amazing. 15 to 20 minutes. Okay. Cool. Get up and move. Yep. I like your guys' comment. Cucumber breeze sheet mask. Oh, that's what you had on. Okay. Nice.
So I'm glad we're doing this today. Well, because here's why. Because one of the things that I love about being a mental health advocate is um, showing that guys have issues too.
Yeah.
And the things that we do on a daily basis are usually, that quote unquote toxic masculinity.
Oh,
Things,
I would like. Mm-hmm.
I'm fine. I can do this. I'll be fine. Just leave me alone. Or my favorite line that we learned from one of our favorite comedians and podcasters is, oh, that's what whiskey's for.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and that's not the best way to deal with it.
No.
Have I done things that I shouldn't have when I get depressed? Yes.
Yep.
Have I gone and have I gone and downed a 6-pack of Devil's Backbone Vienna Lager? Absolutely. Will I probably do it again? Yep. Should I be doing it? No. But I'm going to.
Right.
Because at least for that moment, I feel better.
Right.
And I think honestly, sometimes, when, and this is again, this is strictly opinion based, no medical fact at all. One of the things that can happen when you're on meds is extreme serotonin levels. Sometimes your body, say for instance, you're having a great day. Okay. And this is just how I feel. I could be completely wrong, but this is just how I feel. Sure. So say for instance, I have a great day and I take all my meds, everything's fine. So I wake up feeling fine, but I still take my meds. I go to bed feeling fine, still, but I still take my meds. Wake up the next day and now I'm in a high serotonin level because my meds have now, because I was already at a good spot and now my meds are really, really high. Have taken me to beyond that point, and now I'm just an extraordinarily hypersensitive and stuff like that. Whatever that is, I don't know if it's real or if it's just in my head. And sometimes if I drink a beer, which is a depressant, it helps bring me back down to a normal level. Again, I don't know if there's any science behind that. I don't even know if it's scientifically true or being been tested. It's just how I feel.
Sure.
I mean, it might help, it might not, but for me, it does. Now, if I drink in excess, then it's going to take me down to a really depressed level. But just a beer will help me say, okay, level out a little bit.
Yeah. I had a guy tell me one time, it was a work event for him, actually. So I'm not going to say where he worked or his name, but I felt really bad later, actually, because I basically implied that he was an alcoholic. To his face in front of someone else. Bro, it was the most awkward moment and I still cringe about it so hard. Anyway, beyond that, so he mentioned to me one time privately, I think, that he had to have a drink to kind of level himself out too, and my dad was an alcoholic. And I think there's a lot of people self-medicate, a lot of people use alcohol to self-medicate. That happens often. I don't know if my dad was self-medicating. He was I don't know what he was doing, honestly. He was a highly intelligent person. He had a huge IQ and crap like that. But I've also noticed that a lot of a lot of creative and a lot of intelligent people often do this because there's such a stigma around admitting that you have anything wrong with you, which is not really wrong with you. It's just we're all human beings and we're all different. I love to say that we're all crazy. We're just crazy in our own different ways. We're literally all crazy because from somebody else's perspective, something I do is crazy to you, but not necessarily to me.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I've learned at a long age. And actually, I learned this. God.
You learned a long age? Sorry.
There was a movie, and I cannot remember it for the life of me what the name of it was. But there was a movie about this fat kid in high school who's always picked on, and he's trying a science experiment. And the science experiment has to do with introducing one organism into a community of other organisms that are completely separate. two different, things. So he either has to overcome and adapt, or die. However, what he learned was that everyone kind of conformed together and mutually, kind of came together. And the whole premise of the idea was that his learned was that there is no normal, because every time you act and go to a different situation, not only will you conform, but the people around you will conform as well. I cannot remember the name of the movie.
Was it called Dream Big?
No, it's I just remember, like I said, I was a fat kid, and he ends up going to a prom in a big purple tuxedo.
Purple tuxedo movie. Sometimes Google can do a really good job of it.
I cannot remember for the life of me, but it is one of those movies that it's not so much mental health based. It's not so much.
Was it called Angus?
Angus. Thank you very much.
Google is so good, right?
Angus.
Okay.
When was that movie released?
1995.
Yeah. So, okay. So the movie is called Angus. It deals with more teenage issues as far as that kind of stuff goes, but a lot of that stuff still does apply.
Yeah. So have you seen the Netflix movie? I'm trying to remember the name of it. That has there's a lot of Dolly Parton kind of in the background of the movie.
No.
Oh my God, it's such a good movie. Hold on one second. Netflix movie. It's about this girl who her mom was like a beauty queen, and it's got what's her name? Hold on. It's got a famous actress in it, Jennifer Aniston. There we go. Dumplin' is the name of this movie. Okay. And it is you have to go watch it today. You have to. It is such a freaking good movie. Literally every single part of the movie is so good. The moral of the story is good. The acting is good. The costumes are good. So like I said, Dolly Parton is like a background type thing for some reason. But even that part of it is like so good. So good. And there's drag queens in it. Like you can't lose with drag queens, bro.
So what's the moral of the story?
Moral of the story is that we're all beautiful on the inside, no matter what. But and like self-love, loving yourself.
Yeah.
And learning how to love yourself, even in a world where like everyone is not pretty unless they're a beauty queen and they're like a size 2, which I just, the whole movie, I love it so much. Okay, this mask is bothering me. Also, you didn't put it on right. Like you're supposed to cover your nose.
I know. I realized I messed it up, a while ago. I was just going to go ahead and let it slide, and hopefully you or somebody in the comments that are watching right now did not, notice.
Right?
It is what it is.
It happens.
Yep.
So, yeah. What was I saying before that? Billy and negative feelings. And that was a long time ago, I realized, but still. And Dumplin', I don't know. Self-care.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it comes down to. If you're not going to self-care, ask for help. But at the same time, you don't have the guts or you're afraid of being embarrassed or something, which should be no embarrassment. Ask for help or self-care yourself. There's lots of options. One of the things that I want to go ahead and bring up is a great company that sponsors my show. Sorry, Kat. Called BetterHelp, and they're an app. I'm sure you've seen the ads for them. BetterHelp is an app that allows you to virtually talk to your counselor through text, through video chat, however you wish. You can send them messages 24 hours a day, and they'll respond whenever. You also have weekly hour-long visits with them, and this just gives you a lot of options. No more waiting rooms, no nothing. I mean, they hook you up with a therapist that is specific to your needs and will work with you through anything that you need. And if you go to www.betterhelp.com/SI pod, I'll put in the comments, you'll get 10% off your first month.
Cool. So another thing I wanted to mention, in one of the beginning episodes that you and I did, I mentioned I was having a really bad anxiety day, and we are fortunate enough to have a pool in our backyard in the house that we rent. And I got tied up, sorry. And so I was having a really bad anxiety day, and I went in the pool, and it was super cold at the time because this was like at the beginning of summer. But whenever and I was in there with my kids, but as soon as I went in the pool, I was done being anxious, and I got out of the pool, and I kind of expected it to come back, but it didn't.
Okay.
Because one of the big things with me with my anxiety is that I can't breathe, or I feel like I can't breathe whenever I'm having an anxiety attack, which causes multiple other issues on top of that, by the way, which suck, but whatever. And so I had mentioned in one of our episodes that I think that maybe there might be something to, if you're having an anxiety attack or having an episode or whatever, just go take a cold shower or something. And I think it resets. I don't know what the science behind it is, but I think
I've heard that as well. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I read an article the other day that confirmed it. And I was like, yes, I did a cool thing. And it worked. And it was real science. There's real science behind it. I haven't read it, but it was in an article. And I made sure it was a reputable source, which I don't remember the name of the reputable source right now. But it was a real thing. I'm super proud. So yeah, if you are having a really bad anxiety day, go take a cold shower.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's been about 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. There was something else I wanted to say too that I don't remember. Anxiety and breathing and cold. Or do a cold ass face mask.
That was actually really relaxing.
Right?
Yeah. And I'm not even having a bad day today.
Yeah.
But the whole point is to get yourself to a point where you're not having those bad days.
Right.
Oh, figure out what you can do. A big thing for me is I don't want to clean today, but I need to clean. I mean, things are, but it gets boring. And then I have, my ADHD kicks in and all this other stuff kicks in. Mm. So what I do is I deliberately distract myself with something else to help keep me cleaning.
Right.
Like keeping on the TV.
I do music.
Or mute. Yeah, exactly. Keeping on the TV or listening to music. Therefore, you're double distracted by the cleaning and the music, and you're not tempted to go, okay, well, I'm cleaning. I'm now listening to music. Oh, I need to check my phone as well. Now you're doing three things. Yeah. So no, I mean, it's
talk about what cleaning with ADHD is like, though.
Please, because I'm sure other people want to know what kind of shit that we go through.
Bro. So my husband is has some OCD tendencies to him. Okay. And so when we first got married, that was our hugest argument, was cleaning, because so there's a few things going on here. So many things, obviously, but bottom line is, I am not technically diagnosed with ADHD, but I can I can point to you 100% without a doubt my ADHD tendencies, which one of them is cleaning. Okay. And if there can literally be something on the floor, and if it is out of my peripheral vision, it doesn't exist to me, first of all. Yeah.
So with that, actually, me and my friend, my best friend, who's Mads Blaze on here, mm-hmm. Had this conversation. What was it? About 2-3 weeks ago. Her and I went out to breakfast, mm-hmm. and out to dinner. I apologize. We went out to dinner, and we were discussing this kind of stuff. And one of the things that came up was the fact that, when you have ADHD, mm-hmm. if a person, even a person, isn't around you, you forget they exist.
Bro, I hate that I'm such a horrible friend and I don't ever call people that I don't see on a daily basis.
Exactly. That's my thing. So,
it's so bad.
So the biggest example is, and she used it, was the vegetable crisper drawer.
Oh.
If you put stuff in the vegetable crisper drawer and you're ADHD, the odds of you remembering that it's there,
like slim to nil.
Slim to nothing. And you're going to end up opening one day going, oh my God, when did I buy that? Oh my God, it's bad.
So gross. Oh yeah. All the time.
So that's one of the biggest issues that I have, like right now with like my parents. Like, they're 850 miles away in Florida. And my dad's always like saying, well, why don't you call me on Sundays? It's like I forget. It's not that I forget to call you. It's like I forget you exist. And that is a hard thing to grasp. That is a hard,
like try telling someone you're not important enough to me that I forget you exist. It's not that. It's just the way my brain works, and I'm really sorry. Okay. Yeah. I love you. I do. Yeah. If my mom wasn't such a nut and call me 24/7, I would not call her. My sister.
Yeah. I mean, it was just one of those revelations that I was like, wow, I never even thought about that. So now I've made more of a conscious effort to communicate with the people that I was forgetting about.
Right.
And I think the people that were, because her and I were both in that situation, and her and I have both been better about that. Because again, even though somebody lives 5 minutes away from you.
Yeah.
And if you don't see him on a constant basis, you can forget about him.
Exactly.
And it's a hard thing to grasp. And once you realize it, though, it all makes sense to you. And then you're like, okay, cool. So now, like in the crisper drawer, I only put cheese.
Yeah. Because you need cheese all the time.
Cheese lasts all the time.
Yeah.
And I know I'm always going to need cheese, especially on the keto diet. I eat cheese a lot. I mean, I'm eating cheddar. I'm eating, provolone. I'm eating mozzarella. I'm eating everything. Cheese.
Yep.
But I know I need to get the cheese. So I'll go in. But the thing about it is I'll check the top shelf and I'll check the bottom. Like, where's that damn cheese? And then I'm like, oh shit, it's in the crisper drawer. So that's the only thing I keep in the crisper drawer. All the veggies and everything else are right there in front of us.
Right. Yeah, same. Now I literally will put the apples on the bottom shelf because that's the first place I look so that I don't forget that they exist. Also, so the other problem that I have with cleaning, is like, so the other day we were having guests over, and the deal was my husband was going to clean the kitchen and I was going to clean the living room and I think like one other room or something, and he was going to do something else in exchange, basically, right? And I had to walk through the kitchen to do something. I don't remember why. And I started to clean off the countertops because they were bothering me in the middle of walking. And that is what cleaning with ADHD is like. And I had to stop myself. I was like, wait a minute. This isn't my room. No, you do this.
Yeah.
And walk away.
So to what we're just
have time for me to even do that, by the way. But go ahead.
So to what we were just talking about, Mads Blaze just mentioned, once you understand that that's the case with friends, it takes the personal aspect out of it. It changes your mindset from the they forgot about me to a place of understanding.
Right.
And once everyone involved understands that. But sometimes if somebody isn't ADHD and doesn't understand that.
Correct. Or they have a hard time seeing things from a perspective. Yeah.
But if you get two people that are friends in a relationship, married, whatever the case might be, that have those both the same issues, once you come to that realization together, it takes the stress off of that.
Oh yeah.
And it's immediately like it's a lot better.
Yeah.
And then you actually start getting conscious of it. So like last night, Mads was out with a friend.
Okay.
And I wanted to text her just to see how things were going. But I'm like, I know she's out with a friend, so I'm not going to bother her. And I had it consciously in my mind. And then the moment I woke up this morning, I was like chilling, whatever, messaged. But that would have never happened a month ago.
Right.
Because I didn't have that realization.
Oh, yeah. I just learned this about myself. Yeah. No, it would have been 12 years of my marriage. I did not know.
Yeah. It would have been me waking up this morning, getting a text from her saying, hey, why didn't I talk to you yesterday? Oh, my God, I completely forgot. No, it was, I consciously knew this was going on.
Yeah.
Didn't want to be a burden. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and wait until the morning. And that was a real come. I don't like this phrase either. That come to Jesus moment where I was like, oh, okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
And
I've changed it, by the way, to a come to me moment. I've changed it to that.
Oh, well, if we're going to do that, it's come to Derek because,
Well, you can say that about yourself, but if you're talking about a moment that you had with yourself, then it's just a come to me moment.
No, I want you to start saying it's a come to Derek moment.
I am not saying that. You can fuck right off.
Well, that is not very mental health positive.
It's my mental health positive. It's called boundaries.
What Kat just did, ladies and gentlemen, was negative toxicity.
Yeah. Okay, your friend was like, absolutely not. Exactly. So
very toxic.
Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to mention, toxic masculinity. So my brother educated me this weekend on toxic masculinity. By the way, it's not toxic masculinity. It's just toxic behaviors. And I was like, that is a valid fucking point.
Boom.
Exactly.
So I watch this girl on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok.
I bet
you
watch a lot of girls on Facebook and TikTok.
No, okay. This girl is actually a men's rights advocate.
Oh, cool! Okay. I want to
know some of her stuff is a little extreme.
Some of everybody's stuff is a little extreme,
but she makes a lot of valid points,
right?
And she talks a lot about that. She doesn't believe in toxic masculinity either. She talks about just being toxic.
Toxicity. Yeah,
exactly.
Like the things that people cite as toxic masculinity legitimately are just toxic. If a female did it, it would just be toxic. So it should also be that if males do it, it's just toxic because it's not a trait that's it's not a trait that is exclusive to masculinity, period. It's not. People can be insecure and project their insecurities on you or other people all the time. They just do it in different ways, but it has nothing to do with their femininity or masculinity. Also a mental health thing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree with you on that because it's all about because the things that a man does to, and I don't like saying it this way, but I think you'll get my point. Okay. Sometimes a man that's in a dark place and I'm not talking about the egotistical pricks here.
No, yeah.
I'm talking about men like me will do masculine things.
Yeah.
Okay, I know I'm an arrogant prick, but I'm not talking about that right
now. I wasn't going to say it.
What I'm saying is with that kind of stuff, sometimes we do extreme masculine stuff.
Yes.
To get our sense of self-worth back.
Yes.
Because even though it's 2020, men and women are equal. There's nothing that a man can't do that a woman can't do.
Right.
And I'm extremely aware of that. However, there's still things that a man does to feel better about himself.
Yeah.
That show, hey, I'm still a man. Don't laugh at that. That was not funny.
No, I was laughing at the comment.
That's what I'm saying. That was not funny. But anyway, actually it was pretty funny because it's pretty accurate too. But to say, hey, oh, I am a man. And it's all in what you're talking about. And how you want to be. It's not like, oh, I'm going to be a man today, so bitch, get in the kitchen and make me some pie. Mm-hmm. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and, my wife said she was going to do this because she really wanted to do it, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it because I just want to do it. Like our front screen door was broken, and the pump had broken off.
Yeah,
and we bought one like 2 months ago, and it never got put up. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put that up today. Just because. Nice. And it made me exactly without even having to be asked.
Right. Can I pause for a moment? Because I'm looking at myself. Can I just say, like, how good my skin looks right now? Do you see this? Look at how glowing I am and like pink cheeks. Bro, these masks are where it's at. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just, sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes and the women, I feel probably need to do that as well. Feel their femininity.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to use Mads as an example. She's,
Clearly.
no, I can say this because she's out. She's pansexual, but she's married to a man.
Okay.
But like, and she's sometimes has tomboy qualities, and she likes doing this, she likes doing that, and she admits all this kind of stuff.
Same. Yeah.
But at the same time, whenever she gets her nails done,
Yeah.
she's all, look at me, how pretty I am.
Exactly. Yeah.
And exactly. And she loves that. Or when
I like to wear heels and hear them click on the floor sometimes, but rarely because that shit hurts.
Yeah. Or when she gets dressed to go, like when she's a server and / manager at her job. So on her server's days, she's just doesn't care. She has to wear her normal clothes or jeans, whatever else. And that's who she is. And she doesn't mind it at all because that's what outside of work, that's how she dresses too.
Yeah.
But when she has her manager shift and she gets to get all pretty and makeup and all this other stuff,
wear fancy shirts.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, I'm feeling my femininity today. Yeah. And that's okay. There's nothing toxic about that.
No.
So if a man did that,
right,
it would be toxic masculinity. And I think I feel your point on that.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call it toxic masculinity.
I wouldn't either.
To me, toxic masculinity is when it's what it is to me is literally a man feeling insecure about themselves. But again, it's not tied to their masculinity to me. It's just tied to who they are as a person and how they grew up, just like any other human being.
Yeah.
Because your insecurities are a collection of how you grew up and who you become and who you want to be and who you don't want to be. You know what I mean? And so two things about that. First of all, the reason that my brother and I were talking about that was because my son, who is 13, we were in the pool the other day and I had one pool noodle and he had one pool noodle and we only have the two. Okay. And so we were messing around in the pool because we were bored and he was trying to take the other pool noodle from me. Right. And he was just playing and I understood that, but I was like, why are you doing this? Why are you being so aggressive? Why are you doing this? Why do you want the other pool noodle? And he was like, yes. Yes, Derek, you did good. And so, see, that's there we go. Anyway, and so whenever I asked him why, he was like, because I must assert my dominance as the alpha male. And I was like, that's a real thing. That's a I'm glad that you know that that's literally what you're doing. And that's okay, though, because some men do need to do that in order to feel like they are a man or whatever. And so sometimes that can be necessary for you guys. And it's okay for you to feel the need to do that. But you need to do it in healthy ways, obviously. Yeah. I mean, he and I were just playing, and I think that him doing that was perfectly fine. I don't see any issues with it whatsoever. But in an adult world, if he were trying to assert his male dominance over a female in an unhealthy way, that would be some toxic shit,
I wholeheartedly agree with you. Agree with you.
Right. There's a healthy way to assert dominance and an unhealthy way.
Exactly. And one of the things that I feel when it comes to either gender claiming, feminine toxicity or masculine toxicity or whatever it is.
Right.
One of the things that I feel that they claim that about, and this might be completely wrong, but it's the fact that they do that in their own version, and when they call out men for doing it, they feel better because they feel stronger because of it.
Example, I don't understand what you mean.
So, say for instance, taking, what's the word here? Okay, I'm trying to. It's kind of like the whole being a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I don't make my bed because I'm a messy person.
Double standard. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it's that double standard. Exactly. So say, for instance, a woman doesn't make her bed because she doesn't have time in the morning. Okay.
Okay.
A man doesn't make his bed just because he feels, what's the point of making my bed? I'm just going to crawl back into it later today. A woman would call him lazy or, toxic or whatever the case might be. You're not keeping your personal space clean. How dare you? The reason why you have problems in your life is because you can't even keep your personal space clean. How can you have good things in your life when you know what I'm saying? But then you go walk into a woman's house and see that kind of stuff, but it's okay for her because she has a busy life. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on.
That's a totally fabricated story.
No, it's not though. That's what I'm about to say. It's not. My husband and I have literally had that conversation in reverse. I swear to God. Like, were you there when he said that to me? Because those were exactly the words that he used. He said, you can't have, I'm not even kidding you. He was like, how can you expect to have good things in your life if you can't even make your bed in the morning? I said, bitch, I'm the one that makes the bed in the morning.
Yeah. Or the opposite.
Yeah. But anyway.
Or the opposite.
Right.
A stay-at-home mom.
Mm-hmm.
It's a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
It's physically and mentally demanding.
Right.
Okay. Man goes to work, comes home, and then expect the house to be clean, dinner to be ready on the table. Well, you didn't do anything all day. You've been home all day. You should be able to do this kind of stuff. Bitch, I work just as hard as you. Just because I'm dealing with kids in our home doesn't mean I'm not working just as hard as you.
Right.
And a lot of people that gets lost on. And a lot of these toxic things that we pass back and forth between even husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, co-workers or, work wives, happens all the time. Mm-hmm. And once we start to recognize those things, we can start healing and together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a whole healing process because one of the quotes in there that I put at the beginning of the intro is that healing, you'll never win at healing or something along those lines, but healing is a process.
Right.
It's not a victory. It's a process.
Right.
And because you'll never overcome your mental health.
Yeah.
Never. If it's just, oh, my grandmother died and, I'm really sad and I'm depressed about it, then you'll eventually get over that and move on with your life.
Right.
But if you're clinically diagnosed as bipolar, like I am, or depression, or, schizophrenia, or whatever the case might be.
Okay. I'll feed you in 2 seconds.
It's just one of those things that you'll never overcome. And you need to learn how to deal with it.
I concur. And I think that we should elaborate on this further, like all of the things that are like masculine and feminine and all those good things on next Monday.
Next Monday's show.
That's going to be our topic.
So exactly. So that'll be that. So guys,
I have thoughts, but I don't have time.
No, absolutely. This is a 1 hour show. I don't want it because it's only once a week. And I want to make sure that but I don't want to make sure we overwhelm people on a weekly basis with all these things that you should be doing this week. No, this week, self-care, put on a face mask,
take a cold shower,
take a bubble bath,
only do 5 minutes.
Yes.
Of
something that you normally wouldn't do to take your mind off of the things that you're going on.
Or sit in your negative feelings if that's what you need to do.
Or just turn on a really sad movie and cry it out.
Yep. Or that's also self-care.
But next week we'll get into more of the toxic stuff and how you can combat that in your own personal life.
Oh, good. Can we make a list of our toxic traits? Because I always see that. And like whenever I see it, I never am able to come up with my own toxic traits.
Okay. So you and I will both come up with toxic traits.
Okay.
And for our listeners and watchers right now, come up with your own. And then we'll discuss them next week. So you can put them in the comments and we'll have an interactive show next week. Today was just about a test to see how it would go. And honestly, it's going really, really well on both sides because I'm watching the amount of viewers and watchers that we have. And for our very first show, I'm actually pretty impressed.
Next time I'm going to share it on like Instagram and Facebook and all the things.
And by the way, one of the things that I am toxic about is admitting when I am wrong. Ooh. So I'm going to go ahead and admit that you were right in this moment.
What was I right about?
So yesterday and Saturday, we had a conversation that whether or not I should move to YouTube over Twitch.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I've barely advertised this show.
Yeah.
I've only been advertising it for less than 12 hours.
Right.
And we are now having more watches and views on YouTube than on Twitch. Just making that point.
I love you. Thank you.
I love you too.
Thank
You're
you
very
for admitting
welcome.
you were wrong. I'm here for you.
But again, thank you very much, guys, for coming this week. We will talk to you next Monday at noon. But for those of you who are going to come back tonight for Suck It Podcast's summer concert series, Rocky Kramer will be on performing live, and also a great interview with him. So I have a great show lined up for you tonight, and this is going to be a lot of fun. And I'll get a chance to bring music to you since you can't go visit music yourself. So until tonight, I bid you guys adieu. Kat will release a new episode of Teachable Soul on Thursday.
And you can check out the new one today.
Exactly. New one's out right now. Go to the Teachable Soul, teachablesoul.com, or you can go to dckproductions.com/podcasts and get it there as well. Because we're all part of the same network. So we promote each other. But anyway, until tomorrow, tonight, next Monday, I bid you guys adieu.
We love you guys.
We love you guys very, very much. And we'll talk to you then.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.